The year is around 496 AD. Somewhere on a muddy field in what is now Western Germany, a king is watching his army die. His name is Clovis, king of the Franks, and today the Alemanni are killing his men. The Frankish lines are buckling, warriors who had never lost, breaking, and Clovis does something no one expects from a Germanic warlord. He prays, not to Odin, not to Donar, not to the gods his father worshipped. He prays to the God of his wife. Jesus Christ, give me victory today, and I will believe in you, because my gods have already failed me. And then the Alemanni leader fell, struck down in the chaos. Their army broke, and Clovis won. He would have called it a miracle. History would call it the moment Western Europe was born. To understand why that prayer mattered, we need to go back. Around the 3rd century AD, a loose confederation of Germanic tribes began forming along the lower and middle Rhine. Romans called them Franci, the free ones, or more likely, the fierce ones. Either way, the name fit. They weren't one tribe. They were many, bound by geography, language, and a shared willingness to fight. Two main branches, the Salian Franks in what is now Belgium and the Netherlands, and the Ripuarian Franks further east around Cologne, bordering directly on the Alemanni. If you watched our last episode, you already know them. But here's what made the Franks different from almost every other Germanic tribe of this era. They didn't hate Rome. While tribes like the Visigoths and Vandals were tearing the empire apart, the Franks were working with it, serving in Roman legions, holding Roman military titles, absorbing Roman law, administration, ambition. They weren't barbarians trying to destroy civilization. They were barbarians who wanted to inherit it. That distinction is the entire reason the Franks succeeded where every other tribe failed. In around 466 AD, a boy was born who would change everything. His name in reconstructed Frankish was Lodowig. We know him as Clovis. He became king of the Salian Franks at just 15, when his father Childeric I died in 481 AD. Leading warriors who respected nothing but strength, he proved himself immediately. Rome had already fallen. 476 AD. The last emperor deposed, empire gone. But in northern Gaul, a Roman commander named Syagrius was still holding on, still ruling in a dead empire's name. Clovis marched on him. Syagrius fled to the Visigoths for protection. Clovis sent one message: hand him over or face war. They handed him over. Syagrius was reportedly executed. The last ember of Rome in the west, extinguished by a 20-year-old Frankish king. Ruthless, fast, politically surgical. But there was another force working on Clovis, quieter, more patient. Her name was Clotilde. He married her, a Burgundian princess and devout Catholic, around 493 AD. And from that moment, she began working on him. She knew who she'd married, a pagan warlord who made decisions based on power, not faith. So she was patient. She argued theology. She prayed over their children. She planted seeds she wasn't sure would ever grow. She didn't push. She persisted. And on a battlefield near Zulpich, with his army breaking around him, all those seeds came up at once. We're back at Tolbiac, but now you understand it differently. This wasn't a random prayer from a desperate man. This was years of Clotilde's quiet influence, breaking through in the worst moment of Clovis's life. He made his vow. The Alemanni leader fell. His army rallied, and Clovis kept his word. On Christmas Day, around 496 AD, Clovis was baptized by Bishop Remigius of Reims. And he didn't come alone. Around 3,000 Frankish warriors were baptized with him. An entire warrior class, men who had worshipped the old gods their whole lives, walking into Christian baptism because their king did. Remigius reportedly said as Clovis entered the waters, "Bow thy head, O Sicambrian. Adore what you have burned. Burn what you have adored." The Franks became the first major Germanic kingdom to adopt Roman Catholicism, not Arianism, the real thing, the version Rome recognized. Suddenly Clovis wasn't just a Germanic warlord, he was the Church's champion in the West. The defender of Orthodox Christianity against the Arian kingdoms Rome considered heretics. The Church gave Clovis legitimacy. Clovis gave the Church a sword arm. The most consequential political alliance in European history started with a prayer in the mud. With the Church behind him, Clovis moved fast. 507 AD, the Battle of Vouillé. The Visigoths controlled most of what is now southern France. Clovis framed the campaign as a holy war against Arian heretics. The Pope blessed it, on the field at Vouillé. Clovis reportedly killed Alaric II personally. The Visigoths collapsed. Frankish territory doubled overnight. By the time Clovis died, November 27, 511 AD, he had unified the Franks, destroyed the last Roman holdout in Gaul, converted his people to Catholicism, and built a kingdom stretching from the Rhine to the Pyrenees. He was 45 years old, but he left his kingdom to 4 sons, equally, as was Frankish custom: Theuderic, Clodomir, Childebert, Clotaire. And those 4 sons spent the next century tearing everything apart. The Merovingian dynasty rotted from within. Kings who ruled in name only. Real power seized by officials called the mayors of the palace. A kingdom in slow motion collapse, until one family, ruthlessly ambitious, extraordinarily gifted, decided enough was enough: the Carolingians. And their story begins with a man named Charles, a man who would stop an empire at the gates of Europe, and whose grandson would build a new one from the ashes. That is where we leave part 1 of the Franks. Next time, Charles Martel, Pepin the Short, and the man history calls Charlemagne, the father of Europe. I'm Ilja Gorelik, and these are the tribes that made Europe.